Namaste. My name is Todd and I'm the founder of Ashaya Yoga. Welcome to Asana Spotlight. And before we get started, I want to let you know about the monthly classes called Pillars of Peace. It's a monthly online membership on my website. And this month's theme in February is the engaged heart, the month of the heart. And it's going to be a wonderful series of classes all related to the heart and the heart chakra. We're going to explore what gets in the way of the heart, why do we close down, and what is the true essence of the heart. When you connect to your heart, there's really a power and a clarity of purpose that gives us this tremendous energy. So we're no longer fighting against that which we love, but instead we're flowing with what it is that we love. And it brings us to a deep state of joy. So you can sign up at any time this month. If you do the unlimited access, the all access pass, then you become a founding member and a charter member, and you get locked in at the $119 rate. And then once we reach our quota, we're going to raise the rate to $149. But if you come and join and be a monthly member, then you'll be locked in at that lower rate. So go to ashayayoga.com and come join and get connected. I teach about 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There's a morning sadhana, which means spiritual practice. There's like a meditation component in the morning, and then followed by a variety of different kinds of asana classes. There's an all levels class. There's a deep core class, which is really fun. And then I do a gentle class as well as a yoga nidra, which is a deep meditative relaxation class every other Friday. So I hope you'll join me. It's a really great way to get connected to the heart and stay connected to the heart. Today's posture is Bavasana, which means crane. Baka means crane. It's also referred to as crow, so you've heard it probably more in the popular circles as the crow pose, but it actually means crane. And this is a hand balancing pose. So there are some challenges here, but the hand balancing category of poses really helps develop upper body strength, core strength, and it helps to create a sense of balance inside. And so we're going to need to open up different parts of the body to get there. One is I'll give you a very simple upper body strengthening exercise, and then we'll open hips, hamstrings, and core. And then we should be ready by that time to at least attempt Bavasana. I'll even show you a variation that everyone can do called Supta Bavasana. It's crane pose on your back. But first, I want to talk about an experience I had around joy. And it takes a lot of work to get to joy. And I believe we need to protect our joy and not let other people take it away. And I was in the grocery store some weeks ago, and I'm very friendly in the grocery store. I like to talk to people, mainly because I'm a little bit lonely these days, but that's my way of just reaching out, just making friends. And I've seen that people respond usually in a very positive way. And then this one cashier I've been friendly to, and the other day I must have said something weird, but I just, was in conversation. She gave me the weirdest look and then walked away, like in the middle of my checkout. Someone else had to come. I felt, wow, she just like totally, shamed me. And I thought for some time afterwards, I thought like, well, what did I say? Did I say the wrong thing? I gave the wrong impression. I really upset her. And years ago, I would have like obsessed about this for, days probably. But this time I caught myself and I said, I did nothing wrong. Everyone has their own issues that they're dealing with. Maybe I triggered something in her. Let's not make this about me. And I said, I'm not going to let this experience steal my joy away. It's just not worth it. And so that's what I mean by protecting our joy. And so I drew in and I just said, I'm a good person. She's a good person. Life is good. And, maybe I can learn something how to do it better. But I said, this is one of those times when you just got to let it be and not take it not take responsibility for some issue that really has nothing to do with you. So that's what I did. And how many times during the day do we kind of give our joy away to other people? Someone's in a bad mood, we think it's our fault. Someone cuts us off in traffic and we just lose our temper on that person. There's so many ways that we don't value our joy enough. So this class, especially Bavasana, is a way to really find your center, to find your heart, to find your core and hug in and really, really esteem yourself, really value yourself, because it takes a lot to get to a joyous place. And once we're there, we need to protect it and not give it away quite so easily. Now, of course, all feelings and all emotions are certainly welcomed, and that's going to happen. But how quickly do you recover? How often do you obsess about a certain thing that didn't go the way you expected or the way that you planned, and then you made it be that there's something wrong with you? And that's been my pattern probably throughout my whole life. But I'm getting so much better at just being able to let go. It's okay. Trust your intention. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. Come to a standing position. You are going to need a block and a blanket for later on in this practice. Come to the front of your mat. Stand with your feet hip distance apart and parallel. Bring your palms together, lift your toes, and just hug in. Hug into the joy. Protect your joy. Lift your heart. Don't let anybody steal your joy. And you have to have a lot of strength and a lot of core to hug in. And we do it just to esteem ourselves. We're not needing to have joy over other people, but it's just how to stay contained in yourself. Let everybody else's emotion just bounce off this force field of joy. And then inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold lead with your heart and bow to your center. Esteem yourself. And then inhale, lift your heart halfway. Joy is an expansion. Joy is a light. Just let your joy shine out. You can actually inspire people by your joy. And then exhale, draw back in and protect your joy. Inhale, heart forward. Don't let anybody or anything steal your joy away. Exhale, bow. Pause for a moment. Isometrically pull your heels backwards and try to get your hamstring muscles to stretch, backs of the legs. Come on to eagle talons, or you can put your hands on a block. Lift your elbows, lift your armpits, and then try to melt right behind the heart. So the heart takes a dive toward you, but the armpits are the protection. It's like a shield of armor here to honor yourself. So lift your armpits, shoulder blades hug and engage on the back ribs, and then, having protected your joy, you can go a little deeper. Breathe into it, enjoy. Inhale, heart forward, and then exhale, step back, downward facing dog pose. Let's get the calves, hamstrings open. Just alternately press one heel, then the other. Go back and forth. Then bend both knees, hug your shins, spin your thighs in, and try to lift your sitting bones, get a low back curve. Then draw your tail in, pull your navel back, and pull in from your hands all the way up to your heart. Protect your joy, esteem yourself, lift your armpits, you are worth it. And then melt the heart more. And from your heart, push your hands, and from your heart, push your heels. So heart to hands, heart to heels, stretch. Exhale, right leg forward, lunge. Okay, now we get into the hips a little bit. So lower your left knee down, lunge, walk your hands over to the left, to the inside of the right foot, come down onto your forearms if you can. If you can't get that far down, just bend your elbows a bit. Hug your legs now. Don't let anybody steal your joy away. And then stick your butt out. Yeah, stick it out with an attitude. And then tailbone in. Breathe, soften the upper back. Inhale,
Come up to center, walk your hands back a little bit. You can walk your back knee 1 or 2 inches back, and then roll up onto the right heel. Root the right heel and isometrically pull backwards. Now we're getting more of the hamstrings to stretch. Pull your tail in, navel back, and then bow. And breathe. Hug your shins in. So the right outer shin hugs in toward the middle. You can put your hand on the shin and push it toward the middle, but widen your right thigh to the right. Shins in, thighs wide is one of the techniques we're going to use in Bavasana. Exhale. Bend your knees, step back, downward facing dog pose. Breathe. Exhale, left foot forward, opposite side, right knee down. Take a breath. Remember the bigger energy, it pulses with joy, and then pull it in. Walk your hands out to the right, forearms down. Or just bend your elbows a bit, bring your torso closer to the floor. Isometrically scissor your legs toward the middle, front to back, back to front. Hug your shins and then widen your thighs. So left hip left, and the right thigh goes toward the right more. And breathe. Inhale, come up, hamstring stretch. So bring your right knee back a couple of inches. Then left leg straight, root the heel, isometrically pull back. We create a healthy self-boundary to be able to expand our joy more. Hug your shins, widen your thighs, tailbone in, and then bow. And breathe. So don't steal joy from yourself. So back off. If you're really suffering in this pose, just ease off a little bit. Otherwise, if it feels good, and we want the stretch in the belly of the muscle, not at the joints, then go more. Enjoy it. Breathe. Spread your toes. Really widen your fifth toe. When you pull from the little toe to the outer heel, what you do is you engage the peroneal muscles here on the side of the shin. That creates the boundary, like a riverbank for your hips, to widen. So we hug in order to expand. And that's really true. To even have an experience of joy, you have to hug in and esteem yourself. And then we protect the joy. Don't let anybody else take it away. Bow. And exhale. Release. Step back. Plank. Upper body strength. So you could hold this one for a while. You're going to feel the power and strength in your core, also in your arms. But we're going to do some simple push-ups to build the strength. So first, bring your knees down so it takes a lot of the weight off. Look at your hands. Get your wrist creases to point parallel to the front edge of your mat. Fingers wide. Center of the wrist as wide as the outer shoulder. You can just eyeball it. Claw. And then bring your heart over the hands and pull your tailbone in. Keep your ribs in. And then come halfway down until your shoulder comes parallel to your elbow. And then see if you can push up. If you can't, cut that in half. So just go a quarter of the way down and then up. See if we can do 5 of these. That's 2. 3. 4. You can experiment with the breath. I like to inhale down and then exhale when you exert more to go back up. And 1 more. Very good. Come all the way down. Inhale and stretch your toes back. Come up, Cobra. Pull your palms isometrically backwards. With self-esteem, hug your shoulder blades onto your back. Protect your joy. And when the shoulder blades are strong, you can actually lift the heart more. Shoulders back. And the heart becomes a little less protected in the front. So we give and receive. Shoulders back. But the shoulder blades are very strong. You stay hugged into your core. And exhale. Down. Push back downward facing dog pose. All right. So one more stretch here for the hips. Lunge your right foot to the left of center between your hands. Right foot to the left of center between your hands. And then roll to the edge of your right foot. Bring your right knee to the floor. Bring your left knee all the way down. And just before your knee comes to the floor, lean your torso a little bit to the left and inner rotate your thighs. And then widen your right hip way out to the right. Flex your right foot, pull your little toe on the right foot back. And then if you can, put your left hand in the sole of the right foot. And push now your foot into your hand. See if you can bring your right shin all the way down to the floor, pull your tail in, and then fold forward. Keep your tongue inside your mouth. This is a very intense stretch. Breathe into it. As you push your foot, you'll notice that the center of the core of the pelvis starts to expand. So push your foot into your hand and expand. From your pelvis, push straight back through the left big toe ball mound. Curl it under and just push it back. There it is. And breathe. You didn't know cranes had open hips. Well, we gotta get the hips open to be able to get into this pose that we're preparing for. Okay, switch. Go back to downward dog. Pause for a moment. And then exhale. Left foot to the right of center. Come to the edge, little toe edge of your left foot. Bring your left knee toward the floor. Right knee all the way down. And then lean your torso a little bit to the right and aim your left hip out to the left. And then torso to center. See if you can get your left shin to come all the way down to the floor. And then right hand into the sole of the left foot and push. Foot to hand. With self-esteem, hug in. Protect your joy. And then from the pelvis, push and widen your hips. Joy is an expansive emotion. When your heart opens, that is the resultant emotion. But there's a kind of joy, becomes the highest purpose of the practice. To be able to touch. In Sanskrit, it's called Ananda, which means bliss. And it's kind of a bliss that goes beyond joy. It's like an all-encompassing, all-absorbing state of consciousness, Ananda. And once you reach Ananda, then your joy is fulfilling and protected. Until then, the joy kind of comes and goes. Okay, bow forward a bit. And then release. Go back to downward dog. And bring your knees down. Okay, now a little bit of core work. So, Supta Bakasana first. So you come onto your back, and what we're going to learn in Supta Bakasana is the shape of the feet and position of the legs. So, you bend your knees in and bring the inner edges of your feet to touch. Flex your feet, and then the knees go wide. And what you want to be able to do is, just so you can see what my toes are doing, like this. Okay, so the inner edges, here's the soles of the feet are together. Watch. You open and pull the inner edges back. And the toes are working wildly. Okay? So, on your back, inner edges of your feet together. Pull the little toes back, and then the knees go wide. Your arms come in between your knees, and imagine that you could bend your elbows and just place your hands as though you were placing your hands on the floor. And then bring your knees to the outside of your elbows and squeeze in, hug the midline, and protect your joy. And here's where the core starts to engage. Exhale and levitate your heart toward the ceiling. Head comes up, shoulders up, heart up. Squeeze your knees into your elbows. And we do try to get a low back curve. So just sort of visualize your inner thighs going back. Yep. And hold. Good. You'll feel your core start to kick in a moment. Pull your ribs in. Squeeze your knees into your arms and push your elbows against your knees. Yep. Exhale. Release. Head back, feet down. And breathe. So we're not going to do Bavasana today, but it's another good core exercise. So bring your knees and ankles together. Yep. And then knees over toward the left, halfway. Exhale and lift your heart and bring your left elbow across the right thigh. And your hands are, again, like as if they were on the floor, but they're up toward the ceiling. You're upside down. And you lift your heart. So this is Bavasana, which is the twisting crane pose, but supine. Lift your heart and pull your knees in. This will really activate your core abdominal muscles. And exhale, release. Knees in, knees to the right. Exhale, lift your heart, cross your right elbow over the left knee, and you're here. Lift your heart more. Pull your knees in, spread your toes. And breathe. You'll start to feel core activation, I promise. There it is. Hold it. Yep, protect your joy. Don't let anybody steal it, including me. If you need to come out, then come out sooner. Okay, exhale. Release. Now that is some core activation. Now we're ready for Bavasana. Roll to your right, come up. For those just starting off, you're going to get the block, which is your bird perch, and at least one blanket, maybe two, as your landing pad. Basically, that's your parachute. That's your crash pad. So look, the hand balances require a lot of balance and focus. So it's very easy once you go up, you start balancing on just your hands and you teeter like this. And so sometimes you can go too far, you lose your balance and crash. So this pad here is to just help protect your head and your face. All right. Did everybody sign a waiver? Okay, so come on up and step on the block carefully and then begin to squat. Bend your knees a lot. There we go. So the block gives you a 4-inch advantage. Adjust the blanket so it's a little bit in front of you. Just like we did on our back. You're going to bring your elbows down in between your knees and start to squeeze knees into elbows. So you hug the midline. You pull right up into your heart. Set your hands just like downward dog, claw, pads, and roots. And you're going to pull up from the hands to the heart. Don't push down. I want you to pull up. So we defy gravity and start to squeeze knees. Pull your ribs in. Shoulders back as much as you can, although it's going to look like they're rounded forward. And then you lift your hips a bit and come forward. Just lift one foot, put it down, and then lift the other foot and hug in. And just do this a couple of times. Hug your knees in towards the middle. Okay, ready to balance? So hug in. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Squeeze your knees, 1 foot off. Then the second. Inner edges of your feet together, but curl your toes back. Pull the little toes back. Hug in. Puff up through the waistlines. And then if you can, elbows straight, which I'm about as straight as I'm going to get this morning. And then exhale. Come back to your perch. Come off your block. Uttanasana, stretch your hamstrings. Root down through your feet. Stretch your arms up. Exhale. Okay, that was fun. Let's do it one more time. With the block or without, your choice. I'm going to try it without. Squat down. Elbows in between the knees. Hug in. Squeeze. Protect your joy. Hug in. Took you a lot to get there. Squeeze to the middle. Hug the core. Claw your pads. With high self-esteem, hug in. And then lift your hips. Lean forward. One foot up, then the other. Squeeze your hands toward each other. Then pull up from hands to heart. Very good. Now, stretch your elbows straighter. Straighter. Oh, that's about all I'm going to get. There it is. Bavasana, crane. Exhale, release. Very good. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed the pose. Have a great rest of your day and draw into your joy because you're worth it. Protect your joy. Don't let anyone or anything steal your joy away. And if you happen to lose your joy, it's always already there. You just come back to it. All right. Join me in more practices. Come join the monthly Pillars of Peace, the monthly practice. You'll really love yourself. The Engaged Heart in February. Okay? Share this experience with those you know who need a little bit of joy, a little bit of upper body strength too. All right. Take care. Namaste.